Activity Book 40 to 43, Unit 7, Weather and Climate, Vocabulary. Match the types of climate and their descriptions. Which one can you see in the photo? Polar, very hot and dry during the day. Tundra, very cold with ice and snow on the ground. Mountain, cold and dry with short summers and little rain. Desert, hot and wet with rainforests. Monsoon, colder and higher level. Tropical, months of dry water followed by months of heavy rain. 1b, 2c, 3e, 4a, 5f, and 6d. Photo, desert climate. Join the sentences with a relative pronoun. This is the book my teacher wants me to read. That's the boy. His mother is a teacher. That's the primary school. I spent 5 years there. Alia's the girl. She always gets top marks. This is the pen. I always use it to write exam. This is the book which or that my teacher wants me to read. That's the boy whose mother is a teacher. That's the primary school where I spent 5 years. Alias, the girl who always gets top marks. This is the pen which or that I always use to write exams. Join the sentence parts 1 to 5 and A to E using the correct relative pronouns from the box. Who, where, when, whose, which. 1e, I've been to a country where there's a monsoon climate. 2b, where is the book which Talib lent me. 3a, that's the man whose daughter has memorized the whole Quran. C, July is the month when people go on holiday. D, that's the teacher who helped me with my school project. Complete the sentences with your own ideas. Work in pairs and discuss your ideas. Miss Majida is the teacher who teaches us English. Jordan is the country which or that I loved. Amman is the city where I like to live. Football is the sport which or that I like to play. 2010 was the year when I first went to Mecca. Friday was the day when I met my best friend. Listen to Jordan's weather forecast and then complete the sentences. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the weather forecast. The weather in Amman tomorrow will be cold with clouds and light rain. However, it will be a much nicer day in Aqaba with lots of sun and a high temperature of 23 degrees Celsius. For Jaraj, the weather will be similar to that in Aqaba, but cooler because of a strong wind. Thank you for listening. Good night. In Amman, the weather tomorrow is expected to be so. Put on your jackets, everyone. Don't forget your umbrellas tomorrow. There will be some and light in Amman. It will be a little hotter in Aqaba with lots of, so why don't you go out and enjoy the nice weather? For those who live in Jarash, be careful tomorrow. A storm is on its way there. Cold clouds, rain, sun, wind. Complete the sentences about climate change with the words from the box. Atmosphere, crops, droughts, global greenhouse, flood, sea levels, and temperatures. How the world's climate is changing. That is rising all time and the earth is becoming hotter. Melting ice causes a rise in gases in the world lead to warming. Long periods without rain are cold. They can cause damage too. Temperature, sea levels, greenhouse, atmosphere, global droughts, crops. Read Hammond's note to find out how the kind of food we eat affects the environment, then answer the questions below. Animals eat crops, and a lot of land resources are needed to grow the crops. Most people eat meat that comes from cows, sheep, and other animals. A lot of forests are destroyed to create special lands to raise these animals. Such animals produce greenhouse gases which lead to global warming. After reading Hamid's note, what conclusion we come up with? Justify your answer. Eating meat causes global warming. Most people eat meat that come from cows, sheep, and other animals. Forests are destroyed to create special lands to raise these animals. Animals produce greenhouse gases, which lead to global warming. Reading: The 9 beautiful islands of Tuvalu in the Pacific Ocean have always been at a very low sea level. They are only just above the surface of the ocean now, but the sea is rising every year. Tropical storms on the island have begun to get much worse since the 1980s. Rising sea waters cause floods. The floods are destructive, turning whole villages into lakes. One of the problems is that sea water is making the land too salty, so it is impossible to grow any crops. This natural disaster has caused a feeling of sadness in the hearts of many, and experts believe it was caused by climate change. They think the problem is going to get worse. These tiny islands will disappear completely unless we can stop global warming. The Tuvalu's face a difficult dilemma. If they stay in Tuvalu, their lives will be in danger and their resources will no longer become sufficient. However, if they leave, they will suffer deeply. Tuvalu is the only home they have ever known. Write a short paragraph suggesting a solution to reduce global warming. Use the words from the box below: appliance, organic, conserve, extinction. There are some solutions to reduce global warming. First, we shouldn't use electrical appliances very often. Farmers should use organic farming techniques. We must also conserve forests because they produce oxygen and consume carbon dioxide. Finally, we need to stop the extinction of many rare species. A description of country's climate. Choose one of the following types of climate to research. Which country has this kind of climate? Tropical, desert, monsoon, mountain, cool temperate tundra, warm temperate polar. Make notes about the weather in the country you are going to research. How many different seasons are there? What is the weather like in each season? What crops do people grow there? How have people and animals adapted to the climate? Now write a description of the country's climate and conditions. Polar climate of Greenland. As for most things in Greenland, the climate is influenced by the ever-present ice. A sunny spring day can see temperatures climb above freezing in some areas, but the ice remains frozen and deep snow extends down to the coastal line. In summer, the ice breaks and the snow retreats to summits. The day is long and the night short and chilly. In autumn, temperatures drop and freeze begins to take over. In winter, the daylight hours are limited and the sun rises above the horizon for just a few hours each day. Darkness prevails and the sun remains hidden. Temperatures are very low and sea ice forms extensively. Strong winds, heavy snowfall, and storms are common during winter. Most Greenlanders adapted to their severe climate and their way of living. They mostly depend on fishing, whaling, and seal hunting for their living.